everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a fun mix of garments, accessories, and baby knits for you. I want to get right into the episode because I have quite a few finished objects to show, and then also some works in progress and some acquisitions at the end. In February, my goal was to finish some of the objects that I had on my needles, and I definitely was successful, I would say. I did not finish all of the objects that I have as a whip, but I decided to just hibernate 2 of them for now because I want to knit things that excite me and that I am happy to pick up, and I just don't feel that way about these things, even with the added pressure of finish it February. So I just decided to stop knitting on the Moby neck by Babyknits and also put my little mini sweater that I made for my stuffed animal bear aside for now. What I did work on and what I did finish is the first thing I want to talk about today, and I am so happy with it. I have already gotten so much wear out of this, and it is my champagne cardigan. Let me just show it to you. I will button it up. Okay, so this is it. I will put some clips of me wearing this into the video. The lighting isn't that great, but you get the idea. It's a V-neck cardigan with a double knitted button band. It is. So let me have a quick look at my stats so that I can tell you everything about this beautiful cardigan. I started this October 1st of last year and I ended it February 18th. So it took me quite a while to do. I did not knit on this monogamously. It is, as I said, the champagne cardigan by Babyknits, and I knit it in a size small. I used 4.0 millimeter needles for the double knitted button bands and also the finishings on the sleeves and the body. It's a 1x1 rib finishing, and 4.5 millimeter needles for the rest of the work. I used some knitting for olive yarn for this, and I held 2 strands of knitting for olive merino in the color blue tit with 1 strand of knitting for olive soft silk mohair in the color dusty blue whale together. Now the pattern calls for a DK weight yarn held with a lace weight yarn, but I decided to do 2 strands of the knitting for olive normal merino fingering weight yarn because I saw those twins who knit talk about how they like the outcome of that more and how there's more color choices when you go that route. And I saw one Instagram reel from Knitting for Olive where they paired those 2 colors together, so blue tit and deep dusty blue whale, and I fell in love with the combination, and it makes for this beautiful cornflower blue but with that grayish moody blue woven into it with the mohair. For the buttons, I chose some statement buttons. This is what they look like. The cardigan has 4 of them, and I picked those up at Die Mercerie, which is a yarn shop in Munich. So I don't know what brands the buttons are, but I'm sure you can find similar flower buttons. I was contemplating on just doing like some wooden buttons or those like brown tortoiseshell buttons that are used on cardigans a lot, but I just fell in love with these and they make this cardigan so much more springy for me, and I have really grabbed this a lot. I have gotten quite a few wears out of this so far. It has not pilled. I'm a big fan of the yarn. I love the soft silk mohair by Knitting for Olive. It's super soft. I can wear it next to skin, and I would definitely knit this cardigan again. The only thing that took me a long time was the button band, just because it's pretty long and it's double knit and that just takes long, but it was so worth it in the end. Sadly, I didn't keep the receipt on how many balls of yarn I used for this project, so I can't tell you exactly, and I'm really sorry. Maybe I will find it somewhere in my email folder. The next category of finished objects I have are baby knits, because I am expecting a baby and I have been really in the production mode when it comes to baby knits. I normally really like process knitting as well, but I don't know what has gotten into me in this second trimester. I just whipped out a lot of baby knits one after the other, and I must say it is really satisfying to just knit something so small and be done with it in such a short amount of time. So I'm just going to show you what I made really quickly, and after that I have some grown-up accessories to show you. So first baby knit I finished in March was the Holger sweater. I finished this at the end of February. This took me a week to do. It is knit in Peer Gynt and drop Slima wool. The Peer Gynt is this brown color. 3082 is the name of the color, and then I chose to do the sleeves and also the collar in the drop Slima that I had left over from another project, so I can't tell you the exact color names, but it's just a really vibrant pink that I think goes really well with the brown, and then just the striped sleeve with some gray and kind of a creamy white color. I knit this in the size 1 to 2 years, and I used about 2 skeins of the Peer Gynt wool, and then I think 25 grams of the white and the gray, so 25 each, and then just a little bit, maybe not even 10 grams for the color. The samples from Petite Knit are usually with a striped body and non-striped sleeves, so that's the only thing I modified. Other than that, I knit this to pattern, and I'm really happy about our baby getting to wear this pretty soon. Well, in a year or so. The second baby knit I did in February are the Evo tights from Sandnes Garn. It's a Sandnes Garn pattern. This is what they look like. They are tights that have some German short row shaping in the back so that the little diaper butt fits it well. They have 2 little straps to keep them on, and I chose to do the version without the feet on it. I used this gray yarn by Sandnes Garn, Sunday, in the color 1042. I have knit baby knits with this before. I think it's a really soft yarn. I don't like superwash yarn specifically for baby knits. We'll see how I feel about that after having the baby, but I just love the feel of actual yarn as opposed to superwash. I knit this in the size 6 to 9 months, and I knit the legs a little bit longer so that the baby has room to grow and I could just roll up the legs if our baby doesn't have particularly long legs. It's a really quick knit, and it's done in 3x2 ribbing all over except for the straps and the little cuffs on the legs. Next up we have the Little Sisters Romper by Babyknits, and this is something I cast on at the beginning of March. This also took me about a week to knit. You have to know that I work as a midwife and I have a lot of time sitting on the side and just watching, and also we have long team meetings that are not very formal, so I'm able to knit a lot during that time, and this is one of the knits I did at work. This is what it looks like. It's a little romper onesie with 2 buttons at the top to open the straps, and then also 2 buttons at the bottom for easy access when changing the diaper. The pattern calls for 3 buttons here at the bottom, but I chose to do only 2 because the buttons I wanted to use are pretty big and 3 would have been quite crowded. So yeah, as I said, size 6 to 9 months, I used 3mm needles and 2.5mm needles on the straps, and also casting on at the bottom. This is a bottom up knit, and I used Lana Grossa's Cool Wool Baby in the colors dark blue and white. It's a creamy white. I used about 20 grams or 25 grams of each color, so 50 in total, which was just enough to do this little romper. I use Babyknits to get rid of any stash yarn that I have very often, and I love it because it's so satisfying to just get the yarn out of my drawers and have something so cute to show for afterwards. Last finished baby object, I promise, is this sleep sack that I self-drafted. It's really nothing super special. I cast it on a couple of inches or centimeters of twisted rib and then did some increases until I got to a length that one of my other sleep suits that I bought had, then did decreases and just what is it called? Stitched it together at the bottom. In this, I have a second skein of it. Cheeky Merino Joy yarn by Rosie Greenwool, and I used 100 grams of it. The color is mulberry. And I have 100 grams left, as you can see, and I will probably do a matching top or something out of this second skein of it. This sleep sack is for some cooler summer nights where I just want to keep baby's feet and body warm, maybe in the stroller or just kind of as a swaddle, I thought, because it does have some room for the feet, but I didn't knit it way big, so it will give the baby some sort of like cocoon feeling when she wears it. And now for the accessory that I finished this month. I knit another Sophie scarf, and I knit this out of 2 skeins of Cardiff cashmere yarn, so 50 grams, and the color is Laka 722. It's this beautiful muted red color. I knit this Sophie scarf for a friend of mine for her birthday I haven't seen her since, so it's still in my collection. I love making small things out of the Cardiff cashmere yarn because I think it's just such a special gift, and using it for these smaller projects is also much more affordable than making big things out of this 100% cashmere yarn. I think she will be really happy with it and will get somewhere out of it in the cooler German spring, I think. And after I finished this, I decided to venture out and look for patterns besides the Sophie scarf that are alternatives for knitting smaller scarves, because I have some people in mind that I want to gift knit for before the baby comes, specifically colleagues of mine. So I did some research and I found the sorghum-free scarf. This sorghum-free scarf by Indie Blomst, and this is a free pattern. So I was really happy with it. This is what it looks like. I didn't place the needles in a really smart way. Let me show you. This is the right side. It's a free pattern when you sign up to the Indie Blomst newsletter. She has 2 really pretty small scarf patterns for free on there, and I have really been enjoying this knit. It is knit differently than the Sophie scarf because you don't knit vertically like this, but you knit horizontally and get bigger in this direction. And I have also been really liking a little bit of pattern for a change. It's super simple, uses pearls and knits, and is really easy to get into and easy to knit while not paying a lot of attention. I also used the Cardiff cashmere wool for this project, only in the dark blue color, and I'm planning on using like 2.5 skeins of this, but it is a pattern that you can knit until you don't want to anymore. I think in the pattern she recommends using 2 balls, so 50 grams of this cashmere yarn, but I had 2.5 left over from a different project, so I'm just gonna use it all up so that I don't end up having a weird amount of this yarn left once again and then feel compelled to buy another skein of it and make another scarf. It's a vicious cycle. So, and it's refreshing to do something else than the Sophie scarf, plus it's a free pattern, so I would really recommend that you check it out. I am knitting this, and I also knit the Sophie scarf on 3.5mm needles, if anyone was wondering. My next accessory that I cast on, and I think this was a result of Finish It February really, and that cardigan really being a long whip of mine, that I had this urge to make things that just kind of go over really quickly. So I cast on this. This is the Weekend headband by Petite Knit, and it is a tube right now, knit in 1x1 rib. You cast, oh maybe I shouldn't tell you too much about the pattern. It's really easy. I debated on whether I should buy the pattern or not, and I actually didn't end up buying it. A friend of mine bought it and then kindly gave it to me. You could figure this out yourself if you're into knitting. I'm not going to tell you how you do it because I will get in trouble, but it's really easy. You just knit a tube and then you fold it over. That's all I'm going to say. I am using 2 yarns held together. This is yarn that I have left over from my Harlow v-neck sweater that I made, and I want to use it up. I'm not going to be able to use all of it up, so maybe I'm going to make a second one or something else out of the leftover yarn story of my life. Yeah, the first yarn I'm using is the Terrerum Natura Ulysse in the color Merlot, and I'm holding it together with this mohair by La Mana Premia Super Kid Mohair and silk. And I really like this yarn combination on my sweater. It's really soft next to skin. That's why I chose it to do this headband as well. And I am trying to get this done quite quickly now because spring is approaching and I won't get the chance to wear it that often, I think, if I don't hurry up. So this has been a really nice mindless knit as well. I knit this on the train while on the way to visit a friend, and it just flows by really quickly. I think this also makes for a really good gift knit for people because you don't need a lot of yarn. I've used maybe like 40 grams of the Ulysse so far. I don't even know what the pattern says, how much yarn you need. I just was sure that I had enough. Yeah, it calls for about 40 to 50 grams of, that's about what I calculated. A little bit more than a skein of each. My most challenging whip at the moment, and one that I'm not sure if I will completely be in love with the outcome, is the Ghost Whisperer T by Park Williams. This is what it looks like on the needles right now, flipped over. So this is the bottom, the long part is the bottom, and the rest of it is the top. I'm now at the point where I have shaped the armholes. My armholes are a lot bigger than what the pattern called for because I realized that I cast on way too many stitches at this point, and then I really didn't want to frog back this one strand of mohair. I am now at the point where I am shaping the front. The back is already shaped, and then I will add the sleeves and hopefully be done pretty soon. I am using Ito Sensai yarn in a bright red color. The colorway is just red 0309. This is my first time knitting with one strand of mohair. I'm using 7mm needles. Yeah, I'm curious to see if I will get a lot of wear out of this. One of our interns at work knit this in a really light lavender color and I loved it. She knit it while she was interning with us and finished it and then wore it, and I was like, give me that pattern. I need to make it as well. So I like the look of it, but I'm not sure if I will be getting that much wear out of it. I have to prioritize this because I'm eager to get this done pretty soon and try it out in the spring and summertime. And what I do love and what I know I will love is this red because it is just so much fun even just to knit with. So I think it's gonna be a lot of fun to wear in the summertime with different outfits. And we will just see if I'm a one strand of mohair girly or not. Now, my last two whips are technically almost finished, I would say, but they are blocking right now, so they're still a little bit wet. I still want to show them to you. I was knitting the Calendula baby cardigan, and I cannot pronounce this knitwear designer. This is her, and this is the cardigan. I knit this in this Cocon Bleu, oops, a limited edition Aran Weight 100% superwash merino wool. And this is actually the first baby knit I have ever knit in superwash. It's just off the blocking mat, and this wool is beautiful. It's this blue tie-dye yarn. You can really see where I changed skeins. So I used one entire skein, so 100 grams for the body, and then you can see the sleeve kind of has a different tie-dye to it. So it doesn't have that mid blue, and it's because it's knit in the round and not back and forth like the rest of the cardigan, you can see that it kind of swirls around the arm. I don't mind it at all, but it is something to maybe look out for. This is the cardigan. I love the pattern. It's super easy, super simple. I think the next time I knit this, I will kind of modify the neckband a little bit. I wasn't thinking when I just cast this on really quick, but I would maybe do like a folded over neckband or some double knitting so that it's a little bit more stable. Same with the button bands here, but I'm fine with how it turned out. I will choose some buttons. I think I'm gonna go for some wooden buttons. And I knit this in the size 3 to 6 months. But this was really off gauge. You're supposed to use a sport weight yarn, and this is, as I said, Aran weight yarn. So this will fit more of a 9-month-old baby, I think. I was visiting a friend while knitting this, and I tried it on her 9-month-old, and she fit into it perfectly. So yeah, that's the price you pay when just choosing a yarn and not doing a gauge swatch and just knitting. But that's the beauty of baby knits as well, because I don't care if this is a little bit bigger. I can roll up the sleeves and it will fit them longer. So I'm really happy with this. I would love to have this in adult size as well, but it is a limited edition yarn, and my yarn shop that I got this from doesn't have it anymore. So left over. So I made 2 pairs of baby mittens, and I didn't knit this from a specific pattern. I just put baby mittens into Ravelry and filtered for Aran weight patterns, and there were a lot of baby mitten free patterns to choose from. I looked at the cast on amount from one of them, just cast on 25 stitches in 1x1 rib, and then did some 1 row of increases, knit for a couple of centimeters, I think 7, and the decreases, and that gave me these little mittens without a thumb, because little babies don't need a space to put their thumb in the beginning. And then I decided to make some I-cord dummy straps is what they're called, I think. Just straps to put into their jacket so that they don't lose the mittens. And as I showed you, I knit 2, because one for my baby and one for my brother and sister-in-law's baby, because they will be having a baby shortly after us, and those 3 objects combined. So the cardigan and the 2, everything's falling down, and the 2 pairs of mittens used up the 200 grams of that Aran weight yarn, which I'm really happy about. I do want to share an upcoming project with you. I would love to knit the port jacket by Ozetta, And the reason why I chose to knit this, or why I am planning to knit this, is that I have some yarn, a sweater quantity of yarn in my stash that my boyfriend actually wanted to knit a sweater out of, but then ended up frogging it multiple times and now is just super fed up with and doesn't want to knit anymore. And that is one sweater quantity, so about 500 grams of the Rerum Natura Gilia. I just showed it to you. In the color Tempête, so like storm, this dark blue. And I think this combined with a dark blue strand of mohair that my mom still has in stash from Ito will make for a really, really beautiful port jacket. The port jacket is patterned by Ozetta, and it is, the suggested yarn is Istex Let Lopi. It is a worsted weight cardigan. It has, I think, a drop shoulder construction, and I would love to try knitting another cardigan after doing the champagne cardigan. I do have this yarn in stash, and I'm trying to use up my stash, so that will be the next big project I cast on. And then I have one special project in mind that I'm not sure if I will be able to knit because I'm having a baby, or if my mom will help me and gift it to me. But I would love to knit the Anu sweater by Yuka Tomioka. And I would love to knit it as my wedding dress for the fall. So make it a little bit longer so that it's a mini dress and have it as my wedding dress. So that's one plan that I also have in mind, that I will be getting yarn for pretty soon, hopefully, and then me and my mom will kind of see what she has planned for the next couple of months and if I think I will be able to knit this dress while having a newborn baby. So we'll see which of us will be doing that, but I'm so excited. I saw the sweater on Instagram and fell in love with it, fell in love with the neck detailing and also the detailing on the raglan shaping. I love that little like cabling. It's also the yarn that is chosen in the sample, the white one, is so beautiful, and I would love to recreate it or have my mom recreate it for me. Acquisition wise, I went to the yarn store and got 2 new nylon cables, which is not that exciting, but I thought it is an acquisition, so I'm going to show you. One of my cables that I have from Knit Pro broke, so the little metal part tore off the nylon cord. So I got one in 32 inch or 80 centimeters and one in 16 inch or 40 centimeters, just to have them on hand for future projects, because I have been noticing that I am running out of cables when I have this many whips side by side. And I swear I'm not sponsored by Rerum Natura, but I picked up 2 more skeins or 3 more skeins of their Ulysse wool for a baby knit that I have in mind. I want to make another cardigan with some red duplicate stitch, and that's why I picked up the red in color Pavot and then this like neutral white in the color Poivre Blanc, so white pepper. Just short and sweet. I don't think I need to talk about the Rerum Natura Ulysse anymore in this video. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I am uploading some vlogs here and there, so if you want to see more of my daily life and my daily knitting, then definitely check those out on my channel. and I am hoping to get into more of a groove with these podcast videos and upload more frequently, so subscribe if you're curious about that. And I hope you have a really beautiful day, and yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, bye.